Yes.
I hate this.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Alright, well,
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Secrecy boy.
Sexy boy.
I don't know why I'd try.
Neither do I. But what I do know is that,
God
It's
cursed us
Morbin
with the
time.
ability to speak.
True.
indeed,
And I will never forgive God for that. I will take my vengeance on him at the
as
I'm
earliest
we
excited.
convenient opportunity.
as we resume the scene that had previously been set to the three members of the party who are long-standing members, the rain begins to slowly fall once more, having had the time stop wear off. Each of you have a little bit of a concerned look on your face as you consider the outcomes and the course of plans moving forward. Cable, for you, you're just walking forward and suddenly you look back and you see everyone else a good chunk behind where they were supposed to be, were you all keeping in formation as the rain lightens slightly.
So I'm ahead of them.
Yeah.
Okay, in that case, Cable's gonna look at them very weirdly, and he's gonna say, traditionally they have the sharpshooters in the back. It ain't right for your big man in armor to stay in the back.
Right. Sorry.
It's all good. Y'all seem and he's like looking around. I'm gonna actually how obvious is it that you guys are spooked?
Locke's not necessarily spooked, but he's not going to try and hide that he's
Wait.
perturbed.
From their perspective, did we just suddenly go from in front of them to behind them, or like?
No. You
Or we
are
just
you were already
standing still?
behind them,
Oh, okay.
and it's just you guys stopped walking when the time
I
stop
assume
ended.
it was Cable wasn't paying attention. He was walking, and he's like, "Wait, why are you all back there?" I'm gonna roll an insight check just to see
That's
how
cool.
well. Okay, he does not know.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he says, "Y'all ready to keep on going on?"
Alright,
Alright.
of course.
What's the holdup then? He says, sort of jokingly, and continues to walk a little bit brisker.
Yeah, Cable's gonna just move backwards because he's a sharpshooter. Also, my screen is black. I do not see what is going on.
Tragic.
His ass does not have access to the character.
His
token.
access does not include vision.
His access does not
does
have
include
ass.
vision.
His
I'm alive.
ass.
Okay, yeah.
That is America.
That is the Volstrom's ass.
Is this somebody that we know or that we met?
Yes,
kid.
that's a young lad who's been assigned with you, who is both carrying some of the mage killer poison, and is also another local.
I see.
He is not much of a fighter. That much you can tell.
He is not a fighter?
Yeah, he's not a fighter. He's there as part of the making it so that it actually is supposed to be a successful thing of being like, oh yeah, we're from Runeworld.
I see.
We're with the Runeworld team.
Cool.
So, would each of the party members like to describe how they currently have themselves set up as you begin to get closer to the Flamekeep?
Lork is just wearing his travel clothes. He probably even has temperance in the bag of holding as well, as much as it would pain him to separate from his beloved weapon.
Darius is going to try and posture himself next to, but kind of behind Sternhoff in an attempt to make him look like he's leading the group forward, increasing his air of legitimacy, quote unquote. So, like, making a formation as if he's the aide of the wizard or something, like slightly behind but to the side.
Bernhoff's not going to be doing anything different out of the ordinary.
Cable is going to be in the back. He is carrying his rapier, his bow, and his quiver. His suspiciously has a lot of shit in it quiver. And he is going to be further to the back because, yeah, he's a sharpshooter.
as you crest one of the small hills and look around at some of the other, I won't call them trenches, but some of the lower areas of these fields, which are starting to flood just a hint, you're able to see the first bits of farmland up ahead, meaning that you're starting to get pretty close.
Alright, so reminders to everybody what we're doing here, what our presentation is. Does everybody remember?
Right, I'm just staying quiet and pretending to be a civilian, and frankly, staying quiet is the only way that I can even try to pass.
And what is a civilian doing with a wizard?
Seeking safe passage, I would imagine,
Where are you heading?
to Korheim.
But why would you want to head to Korheim? Somebody of your... And he sort of points up and down. These are things you have to think through beforehand.
Fair point.
Try and take more of a... You're attached to the wizard for a reason. So you can hold on to this Korheim reason, but you can also say, I want to use the air of legitimacy or the strength of this mage as a sort of way to be in Korheim in a safer space. Perhaps you were fleeing recruitment from the empires, and you believe that, well, the empire not well, Korheim might not agree with your disposition. You still believe they have a right or claim to the empire. Make it a game of hatred, and you believe there's a greater hatred towards the empire, something like that. You've made an agreement with the wizard. He's seen your pleas, something like that.
However, this all immediately falls apart if I'm recognized.
Perhaps. But frankly, people who are racist tend not to be able to tell the difference between those of the race they hate.
Fair point.
I am the wizard's aide and slight apprentice, dabbling a little bit in magics myself, but mostly here to provide the support, and then we have his guards.
Sounds about right.
Alongside an additional mage.
As I said, though, I will remain quiet to avoid having to answer questions in the first place.
Indeed. And although it is a time of war, Darius is sort of looking around, we are still approaching on academic business. There is never an inappropriate time to learn. And Strunhof's prior relationship, well, no matter how vague it might be, will serve as the foundation to that. It's important, Strunhof, that you also remember why Lorik is here, because odds are they will be asking you.
Won't be a problem.
All right. I don't think I have anything else to go over for now.
A short distance in front of you, a more well-trodden dirt path begins, and following it will eventually lead you out of the tree line and certainly into sight of the keep.
Tragic JC Ligma.
What?
You cut out.
Oh. What after?
Tree line is the last thing I heard,
Oh.
I think.
And bringing that path through the tree line will certainly bring you in sight of the keep.
Ah, okay.
Then indeed we continue.
You make your way down the now open path tree line with the Rain still generally pouring around you, but luckily not onto you, as Shunhoff has his special little tongue. When 3 individual mages begin floating out on small blue discs as the 3 of them begin to approach your location. You have a few seconds as they approach.
Darius is going to politely and pretty happily smile on his face, just raise his hand and give a curt bow, just as a sign of we were expecting to be approached.
Also wave at them as they come down.
I tip my hat.
You will have to scroll down to see this at the current time. Is everyone present?
All right.
I'm present.
The 3 of them kind of hover over on their slight discs. One of them coming down lower to a not quite eye level, but only about like 2 or so feet above you is where their eyes rest. Hello. State your business.
Hello there. I'm Sternhoff, and this is my party with me, and I gesture for introductions.
Darius just sort of gives a curt bow in it, not really saying much.
Each of them are kind of looking at each other for a moment and letting down their guard a little bit. Introductions can be due in but a moment, but we'll ask again, what is your purpose here?
I made sure to carefully recall the plan that we discussed earlier to them,
Right.
making sure not to leave anything out.
Well, I hate to say, despite you having come out all the way here, we still have no interest with RuneWorld. We do not seek to join, and we will remain as we are. You may fight it if you wish. We will not.
What was the last line?
You may fight it as you wish, but we will not join. You sending out delegates here will not change that.
So, out of character, did we say that we were delegates of it, or just that he was from RuneWorld?
From RuneWorld.
Okay. Darius will sort of perk up a little bit. I believe you're mistaken. My master hasn't been back to RuneWorld in quite some time.
So previously you had just had the plan be,
We're here on academic business, as
Right.
in like we want to learn. He has been here as like a previous student, or not a student, but like they've had some sort of relationship in academic like games or studies. So Sternhoff would know the place, and we're in the area. So we come here to like broaden our knowledge, to see what they know here, and see if we can't like Sternhoff wants to increase his knowledge, like in the same way that you might visit another college and take a couple classes there to see like what the college is like how the different like things work, like that kind of thing.
the one behind then moves forward a little bit and looks at Shunhoff. And you come here not on terms of war then?
No. That was more of a secondary query. We come here primarily to study.
Just a moment. They pull out behind the other 2 and you see them casting Ascending.
Aha.
Knightsbane is a little, or Darksbane is a little anxious, but he ultimately holds tight. After a little bit, she kind of hovers on back. Do you... Hold on, I had this specific line a moment ago. So long as you make true that you will not use any of your knowledge here to help make the war worse, and refuse to share it with any of your comrades at Runeweld until the war has reached its conclusion, the headmaster sees no problems with your arrival.
Understood.
Would you like, for however short the distance, given that the path is a bit flooded, would you like us to help you along?
I'm sure we'll be able to manage ourselves, but thank you.
They gently kind of flit with you along the rest of the path, sort of escorting you as you make your way to the entrance. As you walk along, you see down at the south section where there is a crater with a half flooded with rainwater. The three of them begin moving their hands, clearly chanting, and this light blue seal upon the doorway cracks and shatters, allowing you access within. We've already talked with someone to help guide you through at the start, so please feel free to ask them for any questions you have.
Thank you.
The three of them then begin hovering along back on patrol.
As after they've passed by, as we're walking up a little bit, isolated once more, Darius asks, Strunhoff, do you know what Runeweld's position on the war is?
Well, it's been a long time since I've been there, and I can't say I've had an interest in asking since the war broke out.
Would you like to give me a history real quick?
Yeah.
You remember how one of the bigger fiascos before you're leaving, and one of the reasons why you ended up meeting Arthur Volstrom, is because there was a lot of political pressure from the Volstrom family to impose a more friendly headmaster, one that was more amenable to their cause.
But they resisted?
No,
No, they've just bent the knee.
eventually.
Okay.
Curious. I think we might need to amend the plan then. I don't. Do you remember exactly what they said? Don't share this information with Runeweld to make the war worse? If Runeweld is heavily aligned with
Right.
the Volstroms, then, and they don't want this information to get into the hands of the Volstroms, then I don't think that this is necessarily a hostile place.
Perhaps spending time here and asking around will give us more insight on the matter.
Indeed, we shouldn't move forward with the plan until we are entirely sure that this place is an actual obstacle and not
Agreed.
simply somewhere in the road.
I already have qualms with may make some of my own, but if it has to be done, then that's what will be done.
Well, let's head in. I'm quite happy that there's the possibility we won't have to do anything.
Alright.
All right. Come on, Vominos.
As you guys enter, and you guys, Cable overhears you guys talking about doing something, and a block on the road. Cable suddenly looks a little bit disturbed by this.
What do you mean?
Like he suddenly starts feeling conflicted because I don't know. Cable never actually got the rundown of what they were specifically doing.
You did.
Okay. I was never there. Okay, in that case,
Sorry, I thought we talked about it where Darksbane talked to you and briefed you about it.
Sorry, no. I
do you as a player remember?
I do as a player. Yeah. I just Cable was never there for any of the scenes where they specifically talked about it.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, in that case, Cable feels a lot happier then.
Crisis averted.
He by the way, I've been meaning to mention this. Cable's gonna go ahead and he whispers, by the way, y'all, I'm actually originally from here. I don't know if this guy will remember me, but I'm hoping I can use my lovely charms to try to get us, in good graces.
Oh my.
Is Shunov still waiting outside? Uh-oh.
I would assume Golden is dead.
Golden is dead.
No big surprise.
So, guys, here's the real secret about Sultan, okay? It's finally been long enough that it's time for you to know.
You're cutting out a lot.
You know what? I will sacrifice your guys' ears slightly, and I will decrease my sensitivity again. You may end up getting a little bit of bleed through, but that's okay. Does anyone have any music they would like to put on?
I got a
number 2.
Fittingly, fittingly, magely, scholarly, academically music.
Okay, in that case, I don't think I have academic music.
It doesn't have to be all of those, just any of those. Hello.
I might have something. Let me peruse my library.
So I assume, Golden, you are sticking with the rest of the team?
Yeah.
As each of you make your way through with Golden at the lead, a younger elf woman moves over and bows courteously to you.
I return the bow.
Welcome to Flamekeep. I'm Fendery.
What was the name? Fender.
Fendery.
Thank you for the welcome, Fenderly.
Yeah,
Fendery.
Chad's got it.
It's a rolled R, Fendery.
Fendery. The others have told me you're here to learn. That's wonderful news. Care to follow me?
Lead the way.
No one move.
Sorry, I'm also trying to find the song that I'm thinking
I
of.
said no one move!
Oh, I thought you said no one moved.
No.
I'm sorry.
Sussus amogus. Sussus amogus.
No.
No.
As you look to the left, there's a particular game of Flamekeep Fire Sport that is being played. This man up here, every once in a while, takes a small ball of fire and throws it to one of the people who is on the far side from you, and the two of them attempt to push forward to get it into one of the other two goals, while the other two attempt to intercept it and put it in the other one, as is the case with some mage sports. But that's not the important part. Among Us would never be important. Golden, you would be the only one who's probably super familiar with it. Cable, you would probably have a passing knowledge, and I don't think I don't think Lorik or Darius would have any. But nonetheless,
Okay, no, I actually don't have the song. Sorry.
no worries. She leads you through. You see a few other people. There's a kitchen in front of you, in which two individuals, a halfling and an elf, are currently working on preparing a meal. They lead you through these pillars up here and around the corner into a library. Was there a specific kind of study that you were currently looking for? As she moves towards the crystal.
Well, primarily it was more the group of mine that I have here that wanted to study the most.
She then looks at Darius. Well then?
Sorry, I was looking for music for just a second, right when you redirected the attention to me. What was the context to beforehand?
She's asking what field of study you'd be looking for.
Oh, I've never really studied in depth on magic before. I wouldn't know many of the things. All I've done is really just try and mimic something about what he does as he sort of gestures towards
She looks at Lorik then.
I'm really just accompanying them.
But I would like to
Would all
learn
of you
more.
mind
I just
making
don't
me
know
a
what it's
deception
called.
check real quick? Because
fuck.
you got it's like, hey, we're here to study, and then everybody's like, actually, somebody else answer this question.
No, Darius was answering it. He's just saying he doesn't know what
Yeah,
the
but
study name would be
no,
called.
I mean, Schoenhoff's like, all right, they're the ones who are actually here to study, and then you're like, no, I'm not the one to study, and then he's
Hey,
like,
hey,
I don't
hey.
know what I'm doing.
I'm willing to answer this.
Yeah. All right, Cable, you want to jump in?
Okay, in that case, Cable will jump in, and he'll be like, "Hey, howdy there. Yes, we would like to study. We would like to take a look at these. I'm familiar with the vague properties, but I would just like to know more about it. See, I used to be a student here once upon a time.
I will remind you because it's been a little bit. She asked what kind of genre you were looking to study.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought she said the genre. In that case, he is going to mention. I'd like to take a dive into uh, draconic lineage. I did a minor back way when in draconic. I just wanted to fully, envelop myself in the study of, Dragonborn, their arts, their cultures, their histories
Sure.
with magic.
We'd be very happy. We have a decent collection of history. She touches the gem, and for a moment it disappears, shrinks down, and all of the bookshelves nearby disappear before it coming back in a slightly different shape, and now right as the bookshelves come back differently as well.
I suppose there's.
If you'd want draconic, that's mostly on this shelf.
All right, let me take a look. And for a brief moment, you see Cable look at his his friends as he quickly shifts aside. And he's just perusing like, no, not you.
Well, I suppose I might have one thing while the others are doing their work. It's just a theoretical fascination, but if you have anything on the effects that different inherently magical scripts would have on the stability of a rune structure for Portal, I would find that rather interesting.
We can go to some of the conjuration section once. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. What was it?
Malor.
She turns to Cable.
Oh, yeah. He's gonna go ahead and say Cable. He's just gonna say his name.
She turns back to Yeloric. Whenever Cable's done picking out his thing, we can go ahead and move to the conjuration section.
Excellent. Thank you.
I don't know what much of it's called, so maybe you could help me.
Of course.
I've been trying to do a lot of what he's doing, but I can't do Strunhoff is a lightning mage. He casts a lot of spells oriented around lightning and the weather, but all I can really do is fire. Is there any book that would help me understand why, or something like about my personal magical affinity, or...
Absolutely. We actually have quite a lot of that, as I'm sure you can imagine. A lot of the people who come here start off with fire, but branching out is always very good. We have an entire section on branching out to other paths.
It might.
There's a few introductory that could be a great start.
Okay. It might not. I don't know if this changes anything, but my fire doesn't always hurt.
Give me just a moment. I'm being called upon, but I do not. But they are very far away, so I must investigate.
While he's away, I'm going to use the bathroom real quick and get a drink. I will be right back.
Setting up a way to use an excuse to use my magic.
Hello! I've returned. So did you have anything else you wanted to bring up on that topic, Darius, or are we just moving generally on?
He was just noting. So basically, what he's trying to do, is set up an excuse for him to be able to use his magic without arousing any sort of suspicion. So he put in my flame doesn't always hurt, and it's
Right.
not like red. But I don't know what to call it other than that, like something like that, or literally that.
If you'd like, I could take a look. I'm not necessarily the best, but one of our headmasters, Sathine, he's quite good at pretty much everything involving pyromancy, so he could definitely help you if I can't.
He'll nod a couple of times and cast his radiant bonfire to have a sort of plume of fire, like the white, like the pure white fire, come out of his hand.
And so you say sometimes it just doesn't hurt?
I'm back.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it does the opposite. I've had times where it can help people.
As much as it may be out of the common eye, healing is not too uncommon with fire, but nonetheless, I'm sure it can be something to work through. Is it more that you feel like you have a problem with it and you need to change it, or simply that you want to learn more about it?
Not really. I just want to figure out more about it.
If you want to focus on either of them, we have plenty of stuff on both fire healing as well as just, the obvious part. But I think given what I've heard about Shiste, we'll keep it on the healing part. Each of you, if you actually care about the thing you're looking at, you can give me an investigation.
Okay, cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, Darius is definitely very interested in actually learning more about the nature of his magic, considering how actually unexperienced he is.
Listen, Lork is an Lork is an enthusiast. That does not necessarily mean that he is actively knowledgeable.
Y'all be like, portals are my passion, and Cable's like, wait, you guys didn't find anything? So yeah, you end up going through, and most of the stuff you find ends up being pretty intensive. It's the kind of stuff where it's like, as referred to in this volume, and you're like, wait a second, shit, and then you go to that one, it's like, as referred to in this scripture, and then
Would
you're like,
it
oh,
be
God.
reasonable?
It's
Would
just
it be
it's just a rabbit hole of citations.
Would it be reasonable for, considering Darius set up that he doesn't know anything about it and would like help on certain things, for somebody to be helping him find things?
Yeah.
Ooh, help
I
action.
mean, you get the beginner for dummies
okay.
part either way, which is
Okay,
what
okay,
she hands for you, but
We
you
good,
look
we
around on
good.
top of that.
We ain't good.
So, Mr. Cable, what's some fancy stuff you want to learn about it over the course of skimming through the book?
Cable is going to specifically learn about the Dragonborn biological fire and or their breath weapons. Basically, he wants to attempt to see if one could recreate these things through more magical means, and whether or not such a thing is like. How biological is it? How far does it go? Could one
You end up finding two books about it that are got them. Literally two books that are covering the exact topic. She informs you that once they're off the shelf, even if you change the crystal to something else, they will still remain on your person. The only thing is that without explicit permission from one of the headmasters, if you leave the castle, they'll return to the library. Try not to damage it, and otherwise they're yours for the duration of your stay.
Wonderful. Thank you. I just gotta go ahead and take the.
She moves over to Darius and talks to you a little bit about how perhaps once he's done with the game, you might want to talk with him since he's currently managing it. Sithane.
All right, thank you. He was the one throwing the fire out onto the field?
Yes.
Okay. And he gives a very, very kid-like, genuine smile.
If you need for me, just holler.
Okay. And he's gonna run over to Sternhoff real quickly and say, Sternhoff, I'm finally gonna be able to learn more about it.
I just give him a thumbs up and a smile.
The party is
Oh,
currently on their
yeah.
lonesome. The section is currently portals.
Lork is actively delving deeper and deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole because he's actually interested in this shit, trying to figure out, like, do primordial runes influence portal stability? Do Sylvan runes? That sort of thing.
Darius is going to look over, completely, like, change the fundamental structure of his shape and go, of his face and go, Lorik, are we going to go, or are you going to sit here the whole time?
Right. Sorry, I got a bit absorbed because I couldn't find the answer immediately. Even though I'm not much for portals myself, but it's interesting subject matter.
Alright.
Of the materials you were searching for, the only one that seems to spark a notice to your eye is that there is one that documents how, back under the reign of the previous king, that I totally remember. Like, I know that it checks out because I've had it for a while, I just don't remember the name right now. There's a specific documentation of them being deployed out to a few, like, quote-unquote planar anomaly sites where they were attempting to investigate mass portal incidents.
A portal incident.
Mass portal incidents.
2019.
$20 Fortnite card.
Darius is going to look around the room and say, alright, if there's one thing that we should look for in here, now that we have it, we should look at see if they have some sort of recount of the history of this place. I'm sure that they've written something about it, not for anything in the ancient past, but to see if they've accounted any relationship breaks or gains they may have made, something that might detail where their relationship status with the with Korheim is.
Well,
And the
what
Vulture
about searching for a political history of the Volstrom territories, then.
All right. I
That
worry
would-
it won't be specific enough, but
Well, if we can get something detailing the different city-states and their relationships, we should be able to find something of use there.
all right. Let's go
It's
for
a
it.
good start.
So it is currently on portals
How do we
in
change?
conjuration.
We would have seen her do it a couple times.
You did see her do it a couple of times.
I imagine
also
I would
know.
be able to. Yeah, I imagine I'd be able to replicate that.
You can certainly try if you'd like.
All right.
Would my past as a student here help me at all?
Oh wait, when you say you were here, you mean literally you were a student here?
Yeah, he's from Korheim. Yeah.
This is in Korheim.
Wait. Wait. Is this not?
No, this
No,
is
the
super
Flamekeep,
not
the
Korheim.
Oh, I'm fucking stupid.
Flamekeep.
Never
This,
mind.
this is a place in the way to Korheim that the army has.
I'm
to
sorry.
move
I
off.
heard Korheim. I thought this was Korheim.
Yeah.
My bad.
No, we want to know what their relationship is with Korheim.
Oh, okay. All right,
Like to know if they actually will.
Never
try
mind.
and
Never
stop
mind.
them.
Never mind.
The
I know
vein
nothing.
thrombosis.
Tragic.
So I'd like to go ahead and see if I can replicate the shifting of the bookshelves or whatever.
Go ahead and give me an Arcana.
I believe.
All right. You struggle a little bit. You manage to get the part where all of them disappear, vroom, right on the spot. But then getting one of a specific kind to come up is a little bit of a struggle. You bring up one, vroom, and it's abjuration. You compress it again, and out comes history.
Good job.
All right. This should be the tab we're looking for.
And I imagine we all start perusing different
Yes.
sections.
Yeah.
Yes.
Each of you
Group
may give
effort.
me one
One Arcana.
Investigation.
investigation.
Okay.
This will be me in 2019.
Damn.
Let's see. Will the game fuck me?
ENPCs
Yeah.
do not find much.
Hey, together we got a 10.
Wow. Well, Mr. McCree, what kind of specific detail are you looking for?
I guess the history of this place, like how its relations to the local areas, not just Korheim, but just like the territories
Gotcha.
in general. And
So
how
the
it's
general perusing is that this is a very long-standing academic structure. It was originally founded as a safe haven back when the Volstrom territories, before they were even called such, when they were still kind of being settled, when there were still the monsters all around. It was supposed to be a safe haven, a neutral place that people could rest and stay, free of danger. And over time, they've kind of maintained a lot of that nature of trying to be caretakers and maintain a general state of neutrality, which, while not being an explicit statement of their current state of affairs, is pretty, I'll say, convincing, even though that's not the correct word.
I gotcha. Okay, in that case, I'm gonna go ahead.
It's very clear cut, and as long as it's not total propaganda, you get the idea that they are trying to remain neutral in this war.
I'm gonna go ahead and present them a book. We'll just say that the book is a history in political events, or the history of the temple, or something like that. And some really boring book title like that. And I'm gonna point to. It says here in chapter 9 of this establishment that it was originally established to be a neutral ground for a safe haven. Seems like folk around here have typically taken, neutral stance in all the events that have gone on around the empire.
Sorry, what? Darius looks up. He stopped looking for the books on the history of this place, 10 seconds in when he saw the history of the trade of Korheim, and immediately opened it up and pulled a Lorik.
Zeist.
I'm sorry, I missed part of that.
That's in
You-
canon. That's in canon.
No,
What did you miss a part of?
what you said, My
Darius
brain just short-circuited for some
Darius
reason.
pulled a Lorik and stopped looking like 3 seconds in because he saw the history of the trade of Korheim, and that's what his 3 was. He just completely stopped looking and started reading something else.
He Cable after like him being like what and looks down. He says, "Partner, it looks like they're not much of a threat."
All right, we should get some more.
So I will correct you slightly because you did read a lot of it. They maintain trying to avoid being part of conflicts, but they are very good when they do enter them. So threat would probably not be the
Okay,
right word.
I got.
Threat is not the word.
It
you would
looks
use.
like they aren't going to kill us. It looks like they are mostly neutral.
They are a camel. They could very well beat the shit out of you, but why would they?
Yeah.
Hey
yeah,
BBQ,
yeah,
how did you get it to play earlier when you used the button?
Or
I
better
don't
yet,
know.
mythical giraffe.
You stop with that shit. No such thing exists.
Hence why I said mythical.
I see. Maybe the bot just hates you, JC.
Maybe.
Cable would like to look up about hunting giraffes.
Is this where the party figures out the giraffes are real?
No, they're
Ooh.
obviously just questing beasts.
Cable always wanted to hunt a giraffe.
The
Would
history.
you like to give an investigation?
I'm going to
I
give an
absolutely
investigation to try and prove that giraffes are not real.
Invest these nuts. Got 'em.
Maybe I will.
Alright.
Ah!
Cable?
I know.
Alright.
I've been
you
rolling
end up
well.
finding one that describes how you end up finding 2 both corroborating each other. That there's specific areas in the wildlands where, given the specific nature of like the trees there seem to be these creatures with exceptionally long necks that graze off of the leaves at the top, with few other creatures nearby able to maintain that that general idea. BBQ for Lork, you end up you end up essentially first page of Google results on why giraffes are fake, and you're like, look, see right here, this dude said it doesn't exist. He's listing all the animals, and he says of all the animals I've ever heard in my life, this one is the most unrealistic. I cannot imagine in a world of such fantasy and of such grace from all the gods that people would blaspheme with the concept of a creature this bizarre.
Cable just gets real quiet all of a sudden. You just see him reading. God damn it! I knew it! I knew it like trees! he gets really fucking excited, throws the book down like, I knew it!
What?
Giraffes. I knew it. I knew that they ate trees. I knew.
How can they eat trees? They're not
Did you
real.
get into the fictional section?
No. I promise it's out there. I know I can find it.
All right, buddy.
Listen, partner. I've been hunting this damn thing. I just want to eat one. Okay, I just want to eat one.
That is a good cause. It's sad that you never will, though.
I bet they taste like beholder. I bet they do.
How in the hell do you know what that tastes like?
I hunt one and kill one.
I imagine that silence is canon. Like everyone's just kind of looking at him.
He's just looking at you all.
My honest reaction to that
enough.
information.
I was told. Listen.
Why?
I was working with a lizard folk. He told me it tasted good, and I'm gonna be honest, tasted all right.
How in the hell did you two find a beholder in the first place?
Oh, it wasn't easy. We had to track that sucker down all the way to the mountains. And then, he had everything prepared. We've been at him several different ways, and he had it all ready. Tricky son of a gun. Ended up shooting him in the eye.
Which one?
The big one.
Fair enough.
Are we going to... And he sort of points at all the books that they have, like, out.
Oh, right. Pardon me.
All right. While we wait, I might as well get back to my earlier studies. I would actually like to see if I can come to a conclusion on that.
I'm going to hold on to this beginner's book for now. I'll make my way out and around, see if I can't talk with the headmaster, get a better grip. Now I've got an understanding that this place is relatively neutral. I'll confirm with him, and if they truly are neutral, then at some point I think we're going to have to come clean that we didn't come that we're not truly students in earnest, and we were coming to gauge whether or not it would be a threat, because they're going to see the army moving past at some point.
I don't know. I feel like maybe we should, I don't know, keep to ourselves, then maybe slip away. I mean, they don't know we're part of any army. It could be coincidence.
It's just without any... The problem is there's a difference between not attacking an army that you know will be coming and not attacking an army that comes out of nowhere.
I mean, I reckon, but ain't that what ambassadors for? I feel like maybe perhaps somebody with more tact, more training, and more qualification to do that kind of thing might be the best bet.
I will say it would be hard pressed to find someone with more tact and qualification for this than Darius.
Well, you
Extremely
vouch
hard
for him.
pressed.
Alrighty then. I'm all in.
I want to avoid the death as much death as possible from this place. It's clear that, at least from what we, even more so now, they very clearly are not. They're not our enemies, and they don't need to be.
Agree. This place seems to be a very genuine place of knowledge. I would hate to see such a place destroyed.
On that note, Cable, would you be willing to help me look for the different runic languages and how they affect portal stability?
That is my cue to leave. as he walks out the door.
Cable cracks his knuckles. Well, shoot, all you had to do was ask. I'm
You
gonna
have to
go
get
ahead and
Sternhoff to change the thing again. As he dips his head back in and then walks back out.
Before I change it, I would like to try and find a book about the few times that they have felt the need to not remain neutral in conflicts.
Sure, go for it. Nice. You end up finding out that the most significant of that was during a set time when another mages college was beset in the Cerulean Sea, and monsters were creating a great mass of problems, and they went over there and fucking boiled the ocean.
Oh shit!
You said that was the most significant occurrence?
Yes. There's another one about how there was a assassin who came in and attempted to murder one of the headmasters, and they went out and gave an ultimatum that was ultimately denied, and there was a great big meteor storm
Oh
that
shit!
closed it out.
Oh my god!
Does it detail where the assassin was sent from?
It was specifically like a semi-recent time of about maybe 25 years ago.
Question: for the water boiling, was that during the lake purge?
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool. Would I have seen any of that or heard of that beforehand?
Maybe not specifically.
Okay, all right.
But you definitely would have heard of it. You definitely wouldn't have
Yeah, I wouldn't have known it was these guys.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
And so when he says it, you can totally be like, oh.
Yeah, no, Cable's just like, oh my goodness, that was them.
So again, does it detail where the assassin was sent from?
The assassin was sent from somewhere in southern Soju.
I see.
At a place that is no longer on the map.
Any other
None that are particularly
Less than
significant
significant.
beyond none others that are like, oh yeah, they bit back. Most of the other ones are diplomatic solutions.
Okay, so in general, they have a tendency to be reactionary to hostility
Correct.
instead of siding. Okay, that's all I needed to know. Then I'm gonna try and swap the bookcases back. Do I have to check that, or will I know how to do it?
I would require another one.
I was looking for the rune magic to swap out portals and stuff. By the way, what does a 19 get me?
Are we on portals right now?
No, because I haven't rolled to switch the bookcase yet.
Yeah, we're at
oh.
portals. We're at portals. We're back to portals. So you're looking for the rune shit?
Yeah.
Is
I'm
this
just trying to figure out,
specifically
like-
Lorik's rune shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, what's your goal, Lorik?
Mostly just trying to like determine, does celestial runes have a different effect on creating portals versus primordial runes? Is it based on what plane you're going to? That sort of thing.
Sure, you end up finding the idea that while most of the symptoms of portals seems to be fairly consistent regardless of the source, the general consensus is that the usage of runes is what actually details the mana flow, the actual ether traveling to the portal and causing that connection. So if it's celestial runes, it might pull from one of the like 7 celestial planes and actually use energy from those to manifest the portal and create that link, whereas using it with other languages may draw that source from other places to create that connection.
It seems that depending on the language that you use is intrinsically linked to the planar energy that you'll be tapping from.
Alright.
And I'm just going to
somewhat
send everyone
disappointing.
a link, and please play this link. Shame the bot ain't working.
Tragic.
JC has become McCree.
What, just because I said y'all?
And you said it in a southern accent.
Y'all.
How dare you be from Georgia?
How dare I be from Georgia? Listen, alright. I reckon you wouldn't even know what to do.
Y'all.
How about you come up here and see for yourself?
I'd
So
hope
Go
that
somewhere
there'd
where
be-
it's actually in the south.
Son, you really
I-
you made a fatal flaw there in your statement. You just said come up. I'm in the deepest south you could ever be.
Nah.
Can I...
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's somewhat disappointing. I'd hoped that there would be some actual tangible effect, like maybe it improves the precision of where you end up or something like that.
Well, I imagine that since it's different energies, not all of them are probably created equal.
True, maybe you don't want to use celestial runes if you're heading into the abyss or something of the sort.
Yeah,
That might
they're probably
cause-
right as hell.
That might cause some feedback or something of the sort. I don't actually know, I'm just...
I feel like at the bare minimum, it'd probably be pretty insulting, especially the inverts. Can't imagine they take too kindly coming off infernal energies in the celestial plane.
Fair point.
So, Darius, as you move more southbound, you see a group of 2 individuals, one being a slightly pallid elf, and the other being a halfling, just currently chatting it up around the fountain, making casual conversation. The game has been going on for quite some time. There's a little bit of a team change. Different players are playing at the current moment. After watching for probably about 2 or 3 minutes, each of them move forward and shake hands, and they hop off the field.
All right, Darius with the classic schoolbook clutch with the arms crossed, each hand on top of on one side of the book. You know what I mean? Like the I gotta find a picture of it.
We get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The arms in front chest, clutching the book close.
Yeah. Will
Schoolgirl.
yes, yes, make his way.
Darius is about to get isekai'd by Truck-kun. No.
Yes.
Isekai'd by
Darius
Meteor
has joined
Kun.
the magical isekai. And he's going to walk over, book still in the same spot, make a narrow bow and say, "I was told to come see you."
Ah, so you're the new one she briefed me on. Hello.
Hello. I'm Darius. You said she briefed you. I'm pretty new on magic, and I don't know. Fire, healing. I don't know what she told you.
She told me that you had a bit of a hard time managing fire, but he's just kind of looking at you a little bit. If that's true, you got a lot of room to grow. Because I'm telling you right now, like, you got a lot of potential in you right now. There's a lot of it there, and
his eyes go a little wider.
You managed to get it under control. Like, you got a lot you can do with it.
He's gonna get excited, and he is going to just as a sort of like show of like an attempt at, I don't know. He's going to make his aura flare up just a little bit when he hears it, like in excitement.
Right. He kind of details on about how he's not just being flattery. He's not the kind to just lie to people to make it like feel good. You have a general presence to you that you should be able to manage and refine with time.
Well, that's good to hear. I was worried I was gonna plateau. So where do I? How do you start on study? Like, I know that there's reading about how these different things work, but how does that translate into like knowing how to do it fully?
Well, it depends on the different process for each of them. Some of them are a little harder to practice, like healing. It's difficult to practice healing in a way that's particularly, well, morally conducive. You can't
Imagine.
So, one of the best ways to do is just simply to, before you go to sleep at night, practice glyphing in the air as though you were casting a spell. That can be a good start to get you on the path. As for before that, you know what? She said you had one that gave you demonstration. Go ahead, give me the best you can, real quick.
The best I can.
Absolute best you can.
I don't want to. So as he sort of looks around, break anything or burn anything.
He
Trust you.
looks at you calmly and says, "I'll take care of it if it does."
So should I do it on the field or?
He just moves to the side and just gestures at himself.
He's going to take a deep breath. At you?
He takes a very specific pose, almost like a martial artsy pose.
All right, then he is going to cast his radiant wall of fire at him, and the it's going to be a circular one, so like a plume of fire coming up, and the inside of it is hot, and it is the pure white flame.
As you, it does have somatic components, right?
Yes.
Alright. As you perform the somatic part and your hands do a final like breakage and the flame kind of travels along the ground as it starts to make its way there, and it suddenly starts to erupt around him and start dragging around. You see as it sort of spirals around him, and then it keeps spiraling around him, and it shrinks and it grows smaller, and it starts becoming a very focused, instead of being a wall of fire, it's a small disc of fire spinning quickly around him as he's moving his hands with it, and like kind of moves it up and holds it, generally crafting it into an area right in front of you.
He's just got his mouth like slightly agape. He's generally perpetrating the look of shock and awe.
See? That's what I'm talking about. You have a lot of... And then he takes a few steps forward, making sure to maintain his methodology as his hands are gently twirling each other around.
How do you
potential.
do that? Yeah, with like a smile on his face.
Years of practice and having fire as a gift.
Wow. You think I could do that someday?
Given that you made it, you could probably do it today, but it'd take a bit of practice. Alright. You know what? You know what? Starting it's the hardest part, so we've already got this one. See what I'm doing? Replicate that real quick. He's detailing a little bit slower and then speeding up just to keep the spell going as he's like generally breathing with the flames and observing how you attempt to do your hands in a similar configuration.
He is going to try his darndest.
Alright, go ahead and give me a dexterity real quick.
Alright. You got it, boss. Oh, wow. My
So
rolls are
he
sub 10.
describes and he gives you a little bit of stuff where he's like, alright, so instead of having your hands like this, twist them in a little bit, and as you pull back around, flip it so that your palm goes more outwards, you're sort of forming a disc with your fingers as you pull around. Go ahead and do a second one.
You got it, boss.
As you
Roll
do,
that
he
D8.
says, alright, that's better. I'm gonna let go and you're gonna hold it. You ready?
I don't know if...
No? Alright. I will not if you are not comfortable.
I'm sorry, I'm still really new to this, and I'm not... Maybe with a less explosive thing
Sure.
first?
Suddenly, it instantly gone in just a split second.
Thanks. Whew. I'm still... I just don't trust myself to not, I don't know, mess it up halfway through and throw fire everywhere.
Well, that sounds like the biggest problem then. One of the things about dealing with fire is about understanding that as much of a conflict as there is with oneself, it's also important to understand that you will continue on. Every fire may die out at some point, but the best thing to do is to keep going and keep pushing, and there's a good time to stop and there's a bad time to stop. And he says things that are better inspirational than I am right now.
Okay. Okay.
In particular ones that somewhat paradoxically or perhaps happenstancedly also actually resonates a little bit with Darius about understanding like one's nature and like the act of having free choice is enough to like have a reason to make that choice.
Okay. That's pretty sick. He'll nod a couple times. Alright then. Okay,
No,
I'm still...
we'll start with something a little simpler than that's he forms a firebolt which like sort of shifts into being a small sliver, a little bit like a dagger. He holds it, he twirls it around, it floats around him, forming a single spinning almost hula hoop as it travels around him. I'm gonna send this nearby you. If you don't catch it, I'll grab it. Don't worry. But just try your best to not literally grabbing it would be very bad. That would obviously burn you. So just take it and just try to bring it back to me, okay?
Alright.
And he shoots it pretty slowly, about the speed at which somebody would be like playing football with their pops.
Yeah.
Where it just sort of lobs overhead towards you. Nice.
Nice.
As you're struggling for just a moment, and as soon as it sort of enters the range of your aura, you're able to you feel as the warmth from it, not just as on the touch of your skin, but also you feel it a little bit more within you. It's a strange feeling having warmth coming from inside you, but for a moment you feel it, and you're able to drag it, even though you're not looking at it. It goes behind you and then back around the other side as it 180s around along the length of your aura back to him.
Wonderful.
He catches it and he's like, "It's quite good. Let's keep doing that." and then we'll end that mini scene while you continue practicing different shit like that.
Gaming. Darius is coming back here after the war is over.
The rest of you is investigating. Any other library random bullshit?
Nothing that I can think of.
I can't really think of anything either. So Lord's gonna try and put some of these books away because there's a lot of fucking books.
There's a specific pile over here that says auto sort.
Oh, well, that makes it easy.
After everything's put away, I want to see if they have a section on, like, creatures and monsters.
They do. You whoop, zoom, go into that the section on monstology.
Specifically into the psionic section of monsters.
Ooh.
That is a quite brief section, so there's only a little bit to go through. Go ahead and I guess I'll ask Mr. Cable, because he's the one who quote-unquote should be doing it. There's not too many to look through, so each of you just take a book and start skimming it. Cable, go and give me a 1.
Give you a 1.
Give me a 1.
Okay, I'm rolling that one.
Sorry, you didn't give me a 1. It doesn't work.
Nah.
Give me just a moment. I need to come up with sufficiently spoilery stuff.
Oh.
Wow! Darius Luck strikes again.
Whoa, insane.
I mean, it could also be about, what was it? I think, like, many sessions ago, we found a book on psionic dragons, Sapphire, I think they are.
Ooh, yeah, we found that in all Hectorum, yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
on god, that is probably the dragon that we saw. One of those types.
A gem dragon of some kind.
Wow, 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 wow. So you end up going into one that's about the processing of creatures and about general like extraction of pelts and furs and tooths and ivories and all that. And one of the things in it is that it specifies on one of them that one of the bizarre things in the experiments while they were processing with it is that if he subdued a specific scion, there's a beast that they in the forward describe as being fairly similar to a bear but having psionic abilities. When they subdued it and replaced its blood with that of a normal bear, it suddenly lost the ability to have its psionic nature, or at the very least became dissuaded from doing so.
I see.
The bear that had been transfused with it then also gained the ability of psionics.
So I could then infer that it would have to be some sort of augmented or mutated blood.
That would be a reasonable assessment.
Got
Perhaps not the perfect one, but certainly along the lines.
Whatever the case, it's definitely artificial and not natural.
Right.
Okay. Good. Then I sort of gesture over Lorik and Cable if he's interested.
The only
through with
concern
them.
you have with that book at all is that it kind of has a few things on the start and finish of it, where it's very explicitly like these tests were done under not great conditions, and many of them would, for obviously humane reasons, would be difficult to validate and have not been confirmed.
Regardless, I showed him anyways.
Cable is gonna look at it, the research, and he's like, well, this is all fine and interesting. I never knew that psionics came from a place of mutation. But, partner, why are we looking at this?
Wait, one moment. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the mushroom things, there were several vials of their blood extracted, correct?
As far as I can remember.
I unfortunately don't have any on me anymore, but...
Probably for better.
I wonder if they had a secondary purpose of being used to manufacture more psionic blood.
Well, that's something we could test. Although,
If we found more of them, and if we could
Right.
find a way to safely...
that would be the main concern. There may not be a safe way to do it.
Y'all gonna fill me in on what is going on here?
We've
might as well.
encountered strange mushroom creatures. They teleport when they're startled. If they collide with another solid object, they explode.
Oh, lovely.
And
So y'all
if they're-
hunted these?
No, not exactly. If their blood comes into contact with something after they explode, as I recall, that thing then becomes another one of them.
Right. So why are they relevant? Is this a plague of them going on? Why are we hunting these things?
No, we have reason to believe that someone involved with propagating psionic creatures who has a small stockpile of these mushroom things. Well, we've been trying to find out for quite some time why those are there. They seemed irrelevant every single time that we've found them.
Wait, so y'all telling me that somebody has these things? I'm assuming they're Empire related.
Not exactly. We also encountered them in Savage Kingdoms.
Oh. Well, damn. So y'all think that's related to psionics? Is that why I'm...
We
getting the
know that
gist
for a
of-
fact, actually. We have also encountered several psionic creatures in those places.
And the accounts of this book would definitely relate as to why so many of those creatures have been found and have been being kept.
Yeah, this is pretty damning evidence. I mean, yeah, it seems that they are definitely in relation to building some sort of psionic creature. Probably something in their blood or something about them.
Oh, we know for a fact it's in the blood.
Wait, so do you think that these things are natural or man-made?
That we don't know.
I think it would be safe to say that they're more on the artificial side than natural.
True, after all, powerful arcanists do have the ability to create artificial life. I mean, that's how we got owlbears, as far as we know.
Exactly. Do I have some paper to sort of like write down a quick summary of this to show Darius later,
I do believe so.
and eventually Rifter? Okay. So I'm gonna do that.
Oh shit, damn, you're
we
right.
have it.
Wait, so we can't just have Rifter look at a bunch of books and be like, actually.
True.
Wow, the memory stick is gone.
So once all the necessary details are recorded down, I'll put the book back in, put the shelf back to whatever it started out with when we entered.
There is a ringing in the main courtyard as a bell is struck many times.
Alright then.
Guess we
Shall we
should
see what's
proceed if that
going
is.
on out there?
Yeah, that sounds
Bindri
important.
returns to you and says, would you like to be joining us for dinner?
I see no reason not to.
Sure.
Cable just doesn't say anything. He just falls.
Directions of courtyard. Is it
The
south?
direction you came.
Come.
Oh no!
And they came. All
All of them. Even the dragons.
I delete this.
No. Among Us.
Doesn't have to be this way.
But in the end, it didn't have to be this way.
I can't believe we're just being trolled Among Us-ly here.
As you move forward, Cathane, Darius, you feel a force shifting you, and you kind of almost obliviously, you hear a little off balance as you're like telekinetically moved out of the way.
Ooh.
Then that's not what it's supposed to be. Hey Golden, you're gonna be really happy. We might have to bring open the old feds for it.
A table crushes cable.
A table crushes cable. A table.
Table.
Table. The table.
The cable table.
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 Cable.
Cable table.
We've got cable table vision.
Table vision? Pog?
Two tables warp into existence, and a few of the people who were cooking earlier move and begin loading it up with different kinds of rather nice meal.
Meal.
Chair is not to scale, so just sit wherever you would like.
In the chair.
Oh,
In the chair.
Duchy.
Che. Lork motions for Darius to sit beside him.
There is nowhere to sit beside you. There are no seats. Darius was going to follow the
seats
headmaster.
not to scale.
Seats not to scan.
Don't care. Don't care.
Okay. Darius sort of gives Lorik a "we're not that closely related here" look as he moves past.
Oof.
Tragic.
Sorry, Darius is a thought. And thoughts
So-
be hosed.
I'm gonna ask a question to the group. Have y'all ever been to those summer camp programs where you have fireside chats?
You think I'm a fucking nerd? Don't answer that.
Cope. The two headmasters at the center kind of bring up the idea of the generic ask out of does anybody have anything interesting that they developed or discovered today that they'd like to share, and otherwise people are just kind of eating, making casual chat beyond that, occasionally bringing up interesting advancements on personal progression and the such.
And I talked to them about my independent experiments that I made on those like metallic tentacles.
Remind me.
I mean, I think they're in our DM somewhere, but one of them I know for sure was about regenerative properties. Another was how if it's like cut off and separated, it hardens at the points of separation.
He forgore.
Yeah, I mean, I forgore some of it, but I didn't forgore all of it.
The general idea is that they're asking about new things, that it's less about, hey, let's share your knowledge with other people, and more so, everybody should be proud of each other's growth. So, like,
Sure.
it's supposed to be, like, more short-term, like, recent achievements. But, either way.
I
Camaraderie.
mean, I'm old. That's recent to me.
Damn.
Darius is gonna smile and say, "Well, even though it's my first day, hell, my first few hours here, the headmaster has helped me make some very good progress on controlling my fire."
Sathine stands up a little bit and he's like, "Indeed. Perhaps once the bloody war is over, you might, he looks to Strunhoff, allowing, you might have a place here."
Maybe.
I give a
I know-
small nod.
I know for sure that I'm going to come back at the bare minimum.
And we look forward to it. And many of them, aye!
Yahoo!
So Lorik, there is a rather long-eared, rather, I guess you don't really know elf ages, but they're at least not young, elf next to you, who, in the midst of eating, just kind of looks over. "So where are you from?"
Out of character, Lork would remember some. Actually, Lork knows the perfect time. I'm from around Coston.
Nice place.
Aye. Unfortunately, the war seems to have gotten to the surrounding area.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to dwell on that while we're eating.
No, I mean, that's part of processing it, and it is understanding how things go. It'll pass, and it might not be the same as it was, but at least it'll be better than it is now, right? And that's what you're hoping for.
Aye.
He pats you on the back a little. You'll be fine.
Thank you.
Darius is gonna look over. That's what I try and tell him. Thanks for. It's hard. I don't know. He's kind of just mumbling to himself now.
She gives you shit for it and tells you to speak up.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I find it hard to talk about because I haven't personally been displaced or felt any repercussions of the war. So it's hard for me to look him in the eyes and say everything's gonna be okay.
He lied as easily as he breathes.
For real, I haven't really experienced it, and it's already affected him. So
With any
Thanks.
luck, it won't have to. One of these days it'll end.
Hopefully.
I hope. I'm just worried about what will happen when it does end. You know, sometimes the results of war can be worse than a war itself, but we're supposed to be having fun here.
Aye.
You see, as Caleb is, or Cable.
You mean
yeah.
Cable?
Yeah. Nah, I always do that. Even in my brain, alone in my thoughts.
Ah, shit, wait. Speaking of Caleb needs to be over there because they're way off in the distance. There we go.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Caleb. The
Yeah,
actual
alright.
Caleb.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah. Ah.
Caleb is there.
No, Cable, he's just munching, like, very, bad-manneredly, actually. He's like,
Nom nom.
The one next to you, Strunhoff, over the course of the dinner, kind of moves and scooches over a little closer to you, and he leans over. So what's the biggest thing you ever done?
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Like, you know, I heard that you do lightning. Like, what's the biggest storm you ever made, or biggest, like...
I take a pause.
He looks left and right just for a second. You don't even know who he's looking for because there's not even anyone to his left. But it's like, what's the most you ever fucked something up?
oh.
I take a pause for a second, and then I go, well, I wouldn't count this as fucking something up. I try to say like he said, and I continue. I once used enough magic to power an entire tribe of beasts that fed off of lightning.
He nods his head a little. That's badass.
Yeah, they were happy with me that day.
I can't blame him. I like to eat too as he gets back to eating.
Munching.
Anybody else have anything they'd like to do?
Not unless someone approaches me.
Darius is eating little bit of his he's sticking to the timid personality right now. Timid personality unlocked. And talking to people when there's like reasonable threads that they're talking to other people that he can butt into, but like nothing like he would initiate himself.
Gotcha.
Like in a similar manner to how she was talking to Lorik, and then he moved in on a subject that was reasonable for him to move into.
So the three of you would mostly be focused with your stuff. Caleb, since you both A, don't have other people approaching you, and B, you have a bit more of the sensibility to pay attention to those things naturally, while Sathane would be actively talking not just to you, but sometimes to other members of both of the tables. The other one, the other headmaster, says basically nothing the entire time beyond the single asking of questions of continuing. You get the idea that it's very much like a straight man and a kind man sort of thing.
Regret? Now you're saying it too. No.
What?
Caleb. You said Caleb.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grill myself.
Good.
Yeah, okay. Cable keeps an eye on that, like kind of just a rogue eye as he's eating. If anybody ever asks him what he did, like what he learned, he's like, "Oh, mate, I'll learn how to do this."
He's not asking you.
I know. I'm saying if that ever pops up in conversation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, all he does is just do that childish trick where he's like, "I remove my finger." That shit. The fucking. But he uses prestidigitation to be like, "Oh, my finger."
Everybody else is completely like whatever. The elf just above the friendly headmaster, like as everybody else just groans and like puts their heads back, just she leans forward and puts both of her fists on the table, and she's like, and she's just totally sold on
it. Lord,
I love this guy. But yeah, he remains jovial and kind, but he's keeping an eye on the headmaster. In fact, I would like to, I don't know, can I think this might be insight, but I kind of want to get his vibe on if I can detect if there's anything going on with him, any sus things going on with him.
Well, there's a sus thing right below.
I know.
Are there any vents nearby?
Well, that all depends on
I can't believe that Darius just has to actually look at the Amogus this entire time. Mork only has to see half of it.
Would that be an insight?
Hold on, I'm deciding.
Okay.
I don't think you know enough to be able to base if he seems right or wrong with how he is right now. I don't think you'd be able to tell.
Okay, that's fair.
Because he doesn't have any significant clues, so like it would be tough, and you'd have to
know
more
gotcha.
about what
I don't
he
really
is
have anything
actually.
to go off of. Understood.
He could just be like this.
It do be like that sometimes.
He's just like this.
It could just be that one ex Marine grandpa that doesn't say anything and is really intimidating.
Tell me your war stories, Dad.
To be fair, we do know a couple other NPCs who are just like that.
That is true.
Apparently.
With all of that being closed up, eventually she makes her way back. Nice. And tells you that you're welcome to stay around as long as you would like for the night. Would you like housing for the evening?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part because I sneezed.
Would you like housing for the evening?
Well, if my companions wouldn't be averse to it.
I mean, I think we were planning to stay here for a little bit longer anyways.
If you look specifically at Golden.
I nod in approval
Alright.
and express my interest to stay the night.
We'll get something set up real quick.
Thank you.
She moves over, talks to the halfling, and the two of them end up moving up into one of the rooms up here.
Slick. Alright. I take it until dinner is fully over, there's just some pretty normal conversation. But once dinner does end up like closing, Darius is going to once again look out the headmaster. Like look out.
The friendly
what's
one?
the friendly one, yeah.
Sabine?
Seek out?
Seek out, thank you. He's also going to try and get a bead on the pay attention to where the mysterious one is going, so that he can seek them out afterwards.
As each of the other four people have gotten up and left the table, every single individual is moving up into the left where the other two just went, up into this doorway up here. Every single person, when they are finished, heads up there. The only person that doesn't is somebody who heads over towards the library. She
Cable is just
explains to you that they set up like 6 new portal sections for you to have your own sleeping areas, or if you'd like, they can compress them into lesser amounts if you'd like to stick together.
Darius looks to Sternhoff and says, "I would like my own dormitory if possible." Is that
And
okay with you?
then, yes, we'll each have our own private rooms.
Alright, then it should all be set up. Whenever you're done perusing Keep grounds, just head through there and there's a portal. Just step through and you'll be right there.
We appreciate your patronage.
Please don't thank me, thank them. I'm just glad that I get to be here.
You're still really helpful.
She turns with a smile. Does the party rest the night? Yada yada. Does anybody have anything they'd like to do? We can. You get the general feeling right now. So what's the party's course of action that they're aiming for?
Darius was going to move towards the headmaster. The TLDR is he was going to try and segue a conversation into how what their thing with the war is, but literally have a subject in mind to make a pretty smooth transition in the situation where you can get a one-on-one.
Alright, we can do that. Do you want to just describe it? We'll just set it up and you can knock it down?
Sure. Okay, so once he seeks out friendly headmaster again, he approaches and goes down the line of, I said that I wanted to come back, but I'm worried. I don't know, are you guys going to be okay when the war hits here? Like, when the front reaches here, are you guys going to be alright? Like, how will I know if you guys are okay?
He explains how, unfortunately, despite our best attempts, well, it does seem like it will be reaching here. We're managing ourselves so far. Both, He lays it out pretty bluntly, because you've kind of built up a little bit of a relationship, that, both sides have kind of been coming through and either trying to recruit them or just get rid of them, and I don't know if you saw, but there were a few critters out there. There's been a few somewhat strange attacks. I can't imagine why they'd only send a group of 6 people, but nonetheless, there have been attacks on the whole already, but given how much it's taking a toll on everywhere else, we're trying to avoid it until the time comes. You're more than welcome to, if your master will allow it, wait here until it is over.
We have somewhere to be, and I would like to take you up on that, but I have a feeling we're going to need to get going. I don't know if I'm out of line to ask, but is there any particular reason you guys keep neutrality or try to stay out of it?
He in character, he's waiting a little bit as he's trying to come up with the correct words.
You don't have to answer that. I know it's kind of out of the blue, and
I guess it's mostly in response to the same answer I gave you earlier. The act of being given the choice means one must consider the choice properly. And
I guess, but if you
traditionally,
wait
with how it's much harder to put a fire out than it is to start one.
he sort of like does like the sideways mouth like and I guess I understand, but if you wait so long to make a choice, don't you eventually lose the ability to make that choice? You were just telling me about how the ability to make a choice is important, but if you wait so long, eventually it'll be made for you. And I don't know, I just don't want something to happen to you guys while I'm away, because this is one of the places I felt like I've been at home.
He visibly and very audibly scoffs.
What?
No. Call it over cocky if you'd want, or any number of things, but I'd be barring the highborn coming down, I'd struggle to imagine how anything could go wrong.
Well, I'm definitely the naive one here. I do want to make sure that you're not. I just want you to consider the possibility that that might actually happen.
You know what? Walk with me. And he moves. He pulls out 2 of those discs that they had earlier, and he hands you one of them. You ever ridden these before?
Not personally, no.
Alright. He takes a side strap. Some people always use them. I'm one of them. I may be mocked for it, but I don't think there's any shame in it. So, at least we'll be on equal footing. And he hands it to you and shows you how to strap in your feet onto it.
Alright. He follows the instructions.
Alright. The 2 of you, it's a little bit awkward to start going. You end up having one point where you do a flip and you're upside down for a brief second before he kind of pulls you more upright. But you end up traveling along the width of the castle and kind of moving around it as he describes the situation. Perhaps almost too naively on his half, he describes about how both there's like the ability, like how even though it's open ceiling, you noticed how it wasn't raining. There's a barrier in place that helps keep stuff out. The stone around it is made up of living, like, firestone as well that, like, automatically repairs itself when it's damaged. Like, they make sure to always make their own food and keep them and, like, purify everything they eat and drink. They go through and, like, always, like, they're some of the most, like, refined, like, ones that they balance their ability to put stuff out and to put out damage and actually control, like, battles if they happen, just generally going along the line of instilling confidence that they'll be fine.
Alright. Do I have... well, while they're out, can I be really frank with you, I normally have to ask permission from Sternhoff.
Of course.
And I'm not trying to move you one way or the other. I'm just... From the things that I've seen from this war, I feel like not taking a side is taking a side. I can't... if I wasn't under Sternhoff's guidance, I think I would be in the Imperial Army right now.
Perhaps you misunderstood. We're not taking arms, but by no means are we standing by. He
He
kind
sort
of
of
gestures
looks-
out towards the general direction of Korham. Like, we're still helping people get where they need to be. Like, but families being attacked is wrong in any right.
He nods a couple times.
There's more ways to help win a war, or even just help in general, than to take blood.
Alright.
And
You've been...
of course, it's... I mean, that's why Gerald's there. He's there to keep a more grounded mind, and, well, I ultimately agree with you that perhaps we should do more. I think it's wise that we, at least for now, wait.
Well, from the rumors that I've heard, it might also be a good idea if you keep out of the fight, just because of the number of lives that might be lost. He chuckles a little bit. Although, I don't know. To me, I can't just stand by. I have to, though, with my standing. How do you think I should ask him to go, I mean? He's been my patron for so long, and I haven't had any calling before now.
First, I would ask you to consider upon yourself if you believe that it's truly the choice you would make. It's perhaps the most difficult choice, one that removes other people's freedoms.
I think that it is a hard choice to make for sure, but the alternatives, if I don't do something, how many people will be thrust from their homes? How many people will lose their lives, their families? How many people, like my Dragonborn friend in there, will have to leave because they're not accepted for just who they are?
I'd ask you to win him over with your words like you are with me.
I wish it was that simple.
I mean, it's not like, well, unless I'm getting this wrong, you are simply his aide, right?
I mean, I am.
Then ultimately, should the choice not be one you enjoy, you can take it into your own hands. But if you do, I do ask that you consider it completely.
Alright.
I think
All right.
everyone's on both sides of this conflict are drawing it very... Oh, no, drawing is not the right word. Rewind. On both sides of this conflict are desensitized to its costs after years at war already. It's bleeding in. No one cares about the lives being lost, and well, I understand where you come from. And he's taking a rather deep breath. There is a right time for everything. And should that arise, we'll do what we need, and I hope should that arise, you do what you would do as well.
Speaking of the right time, just a quick aside. I think now, if any time, referring to the party of coming clean and speaking like genuinely would be now in this moment. Would y'all agree?
I would absolutely agree.
I mean, I probably would if someone would fill me in on what I missed. Like,
Okay, so the gist is I've been having a pretty big heart to heart. I had a conversation with the headmaster. He basically agrees that there's something needs to be done. He just doesn't want the school to be killing people over it. He's voiced that they're already helping people out of Korheim. They're already like doing things that aren't killing and not fighting, but they're still helping to get like refugees out of Korheim.
Which parentheses the party is, or Darius is smart enough to understand why the Imperial army would kind of then be being like, oh well, look, they're going to Korheim all the time.
Yeah.
I would strongly be on the vote of, dude, yeah, he needs to know the severity of how bad everything is.
yeah.
Okay. So Darius is going to stop for a moment. His general posture on the board is going to change. He's gonna step like back straight. I want to be fully and completely honest with you, which I haven't been until now. And I'm sorry for any deception that I had to do. As he looks at him, still genuinely. We are aligned with the Imperials as of now, and we were sent here to gauge whether or not you were a threat to the approaching line. Nothing else was a lie.
He just nods understandingly.
I loved everything that you taught me, every mood here, the stance of understanding, the positioning of knowledge, and your words have still struck true with me, and I hope that my deception has not ruined my relationship with you, because I truly do wish to return here.
Not at all. Thank you for answering the one question we had. Gerald was quite confused as to why Delmer was here.
I told him that we should have tried to hide it better, but...
Oh no, like he could have just been a Dragonborn. Lorik, right? Yeah, that was it. No,
Yes,
he just straight up knew him, apparently.
knew the case. He was worried about that, but on the chance that he did know, he did recognize, I found that if you really were, I don't know, aligned with them, it probably wouldn't have been... whatever.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that nothing has to happen. The front line will be moving through here, and nothing will happen to you.
He's not totally buying that part. Yeah, he kind of shifts it around a little bit. And why are you certain about that?
Well, we have, first off, do you know Lorik's standing?
After I've been briefed today, yes.
Lorik has a certain degree of say over the order and over the moving of the military line. If he strongly advocates that absolutely nothing happens, if he gives his word that there is no threat to them, they will take it seriously. And I will personally stand in front of it should they choose to take action.
He's more willing to buy that a little.
I can't speak for everything that happens in the Empire, but I can speak for what little I have control over. And for, I guess, a sort of...
I just hope you make it clear enough that none of them get the wrong idea and come here.
Perhaps
You know how zealotry is.
Yes, I will communicate as best I can. I will have Lorik communicate as best he can.
Is there anything I can give to you that you might be able to use as a way to convince? Anything that might seem like well, no, if you make us look weak, then that might simply encourage them to make sure we remain such. Perhaps a demonstration? Make sure that it's... No? That's quite a conundrum, then. If we appear weak, they might attack us, and if we appear strong, they'd have no reason to move past.
Indeed. Personally, I do feel that the word is strong enough. How about I'll give you a reverse demonstration? Not necessarily a demonstration, but you understand the front has moved forward recently, yes?
Aye.
It coincided exactly with when we arrived.
Correct.
To the front lines, I mean. The movement forward was directly attributed to us, and Struenhof specifically. He was able to provide us a pocket through the blasted death fog. Still can't believe someone would distort magic like that. And something that, outside of this damned conflict, that you should keep in mind and keep in the back of your mind at the bare minimum is there will be psionic related things coming from Korheim. And potentially from the Empire as well.
He thinks about it for a second. Do you know if they teleport?
From my understanding, it has everything to do with the blood and the flesh. I don't know if it has the ability to teleport. I know that the one who perpetrates them does with a specific type of device. It's we actually found one in Korheim. I don't know how. Here, I'll describe it, and if you've seen it or you do see it,
we can skip forward some if you want.
He'll give some descriptions of it, the general gist of how X person moves. He's not necessarily going to say run yet, just to not set off alarm bells.
Generally the conversation goes along such that if it's in big numbers, they'll be able to just lift up the keep itself, and if it's in small numbers, he demonstrates. He asks you if you're able to teleport short distances.
I can, but it does hurt.
He places a wall of force around you that then immediately becomes dark. Hopefully they wouldn't be able to get through that as it then dissipates and begins shifting and moving around as it moves down to the ground and forming a few shapes as it goes down as he twirls it.
Indeed. Maybe.
That's one from Gerald. He's great at changing things like that, but
I genuinely beg of you, should you find anything related to the blood, to the psionics, do not underestimate it.
You know what?
Every time we've encountered
he pulls out a small speck of dust from his pocket, blows on it for a second, and then begins spiraling his hands a little bit on it, and it sort of grows a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. If you hold on to this, I'll be able to contact you should I need to. If I ever see anything, I'll let you know.
He nods. They have a certain level of magical resistance regarding to the number of times they're hit, not the power of the spell. If you hit it with one strong spell, it will completely absorb it. If you hit it with multiple small spells, it won't be able to absorb it all. So multiple small spells, and once the resistance drops, it will be susceptible.
He understands and accepts along with any other information you provide. Is there anything else significant you'd like to do?
Basically,
Beyond
all of
prepping
the
him?
yeah, basically prepping him for all of the weaknesses of any creature of the flesh. Once again, just driving home that he will do whatever is in his power to have them move by peacefully, that kind of thing.
Huh. You both get caught up. Anything else?
I think that's all.
He, as you land back at the keep, and he moves to take the board back from you, he thinks about it for a second and says, "Were you just walking to get here by show, or is that actually... do you actually have to walk?"
We do walk most of the way, most of the time. We have a cart that we travel with, but it's not here. We've got here by teleportation circle, so obviously we couldn't.
He grabs 5 other of the plates and hands it to you. Keep it.
Truly,
Truly.
I am grateful for all of us. Thank you.
God damn it.
Now this is matters.
So while all of this was going on, since it's been like an hour and a half, what will the rest of the party have done with finished dinner? Will you just be going to sleep, or do you have specific shenanigans you'd like to get up to?
I would imagine that after dinner we probably briefly talked, at least me and Lorik, about what we were gonna do. And then probably towards the end of that conversation, Chad will get back and tell us what's going on his end.
Mr. Cable Caleb?
What's the verdict? Oh, sorry.
Cable probably is going to talk to any of the younger people, because he's a dad and do dad jokes and do dad things. That's probably mostly. For the most part, he's trying to seem like a friendly, jolly guy who doesn't really know much about magic other than, some book learning, I guess.
Give me a performance.
A performance? Oh, I was not expecting this.
It's not like it's an uber hit, but like, given that they're dad jokes, it's a pretty solid landing. The general like shit-eating grins exist.
Oh, also, at some point he's gonna check on Reggie, his familiar. He's gonna go outside and just be like, "How are you doing? Here's some food." Blah blah blah.
Oh my God, guys! It's an owl at a mage's school. OMG!
Whoa.
Is this a Harry Potter reference?
It better not be.
Hedwig, stop being transphobic. There you go.
Got him.
True.
The owl is happy and snipped up a lot of worms in the rainy post-rain weather.
Oh, my salute. Okay, I didn't realize you needed to eat worms.
It doesn't have
yeah.
to. It just does because it's it's part of its
He
nature.
asks him, actually telepathically, like, "What do y'all reckon of this school?" And he is just kind of like. His judgment right now is, it's good enough, I guess, for mortals. And Cable's like, what do you mean about that? And he doesn't expand on that.
Get fucked. So, Streunhoff, Lorik, go ahead.
Well, Lorik seeing Darius coming back, asks, well, what's the verdict?
Well, we've read into their history a little bit.
The verdict is, Lorik, that we're fine.
So what was it that found me out?
The other headmaster, he recognized your face.
Damn.
Perhaps you know him from somewhere?
Would Lorik remember him?
Nope.
Not as far as I can tell.
But nonetheless, and Darius, out of the big bag of holding, pulls out the five discs. We have or 6 discs, however many party members we have. We have gained a new method of transportation as a gift. I came completely clean with the headmaster that I've been training with. He was very understanding. They are fully neutral. I've given them my word at bare minimum, and I have given them your word for you that we would do our best to prevent anything from happening to them as the front moves forward.
Alright. And, of course, I can live up to my word, which you gave.
It's basically your word.
Aye. In this instance.
I only said what I knew you would have said too.
I know.
Nonetheless, it would be good for us to come and formally meet with the headmasters as who we truly are, as a group.
I reckon that's probably a good idea.
The elf next to you, when you pull out the discs a little bit after that, she asks, "Y'all ever ridden those for a long period of time?"
I haven't ever ridden on one in the first place.
Don't be expecting it to do you too many wonders in this short term. It takes about a minute or two to get set up and actually, get flying, and from there, probably manages about 2 hours, maybe 3.
Alright, so
Make
it's more
sure
for
that
moderate.
the general rule, at least here, is that after 2 hours, don't fly much more than like 20 feet up in the air, because it can give out any time after that.
That's
Do you
good to
have
know.
any information on how long it takes for them to be usable again?
About a day.
Alright. Still, that cuts
Yeah.
down quite a bit on travel time.
One of the things you can do to help just a touch if you're moving all together is, since they can expand a little, you can kind of match the edges of them together, and you can ride together in a group. Makes things easier if people are doing other things.
Alright.
The good ending.
A good ending.
True.
That's a good ending.
Alright, Darius is going to make his rounds and collect all of the party members. To anyone who doesn't understand what is going on, like the students, Darius is now taking a very lead approach with Strunhoff, which might seem a little confusing.
Perhaps it would be better if I were to appear in more official appearance when we do go. Do you mind if I take a moment to...
Yes, I've got your armor. You can hear. Here, he just hands the big bag.
I'll be back out in about 10 minutes.
All
No,
right.
I got this. Cable prestidigitation's a little crown on Lorik's head.
Damn.
Mark is not amused in the
Darius
slightest.
walks over and pats Strunhoff on the back. All right, time to get up, old man.
So here's my question for you, Darius.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that you were performing an illegal activity for Lorik?
What?
I assume Darius probably would have had some knowledge, but
Technically, having Lorik not have access to his weapon.
oh yeah, true.
It is
True.
by law forbidden.
He purposefully gave it up as an attempt
And-
of.
I still had access to it, it just was not on my person.
Did you have access to it, though?
Should he
I
needed
guess-
it, Darius would have given it to
Yeah,
him.
I could just
He
ask
didn't
him.
withhold it.
Guys, we're trying to kill the
Questionable.
son of the emperor, but we kept Lorik from his sword.
Yeah.
This is really our worst crime.
I see now. What I thought you were going to say the
Regicide,
crime
I
was.
sleep.
I thought you were gonna say-
Random ass right to bear arms from like 200 years ago. Real shit.
I thought you were going to say giving the word of a high-ranking Delmarev without
Yeah,
their
me too,
permission
right?
was a crime, and not.
True.
I mean, it probably is as well, but not one that's been established in lore. Whereas that one's actually been established in lore.
Also, you say 200 years ago. More like 300 to 400.
Sure. Okay, nerd.
Yeah.
You act as if they were like had codified laws in the Empire for Dragonborn in Delmarv before
That's
that.
why it says 300.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's like 4 generations after the initial arrival. Maybe 5.
That's not how the timeline works out. We talked about this, but
I thought they
Let's
arrived like
not get
450
into
years
it.
ago. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Sorry.
The party all gets to go to their individual rooms and get changed. Anybody who wants to do fancy shit.
Darius is gonna put on his... No, he's not gonna put on his hat.
He's gonna put on his maid outfit.
his fucking bowling maid outfit. He rocks it.
He would absolutely rock the maid outfit, yes.
Ohio. Darius could probably cross-dress pretty well.
Very well. As the other headmaster goes by, he just nods to the each of you, or to the lot of you. Rest well.
Darius
Mixes
nods
well.
back.
Disappears in the portal room. Well, I guess I'm with them. Sleep well. And makes his way as well.
He looks back at Lorik. Perhaps it's best we wait till morning then.
Hi.
You
Alright,
still have access to your things.
let me just take them out of the bag so I can have them in my room so I don't have to ask you for them in the morning.
Alright, and then I think we disseminate into our individual rooms.
Again, the most of you rest well.
Except for Darius.
Except for Darius.
Anything new, or is it just the same old?
It's more of the same old, but it's getting more, I won't say potent, because that kind of doesn't specify the correct way in which it is. It's getting clearer, it's getting more concise, it's getting more... Humanizing isn't the right word either, it's becoming more real.
Okay. Less
Rather
of
than just
ephemeral
being
dream.
words and ephemeral voices
It's
and like
people talking.
different concepts, it's an actual conversation being told to you. It's actually them speaking directly to you, not around you.
Can he respond yet, or is it just him being spoken to?
I don't think you've tried at any point.
Okay. He is going to try to respond in this stream and say, I will come when I can. And then just a pause, and then soon. Like he's just trying to communicate that.
It seems a little irrespective of what you say, like how their future response is, but then after like a few different sentences go by, you start hearing a few of them that start talking about time and about missing opportunities and all of that, and what if it's too late and whatnot. But that's not to you again, that's like different voices talking to each other in the general idea. And otherwise you wake up feeling very, very tired.
I am death.
Does anyone else have anything they'd like to accomplish at the keep before they head out?
I'm good.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anything.
Well, then all of you get together. Darius shows each of you how to activate your brand new hoverboards. As you twist a little knob in the center, it slowly starts humming, and as the humming gets louder, it then eventually crescendos and starts lowering down, lowering down, lowering down. And as soon as it finishes lowering down, it starts to float a little bit. Each of them have little additions for the ability to strap yourself on, which would be highly recommended at the start so that you don't like fall to your death, and gives you a few lessons on how to ride around along with the help of some of the other students.
Nice.
About halfway through the day, you feel comfortable enough to start heading out. They switch out your boards for new ones so that they're fresh on charge and you can head out on your way.
Before we do, Darius, I'm assuming with the group, is going to seek out the headmasters directly.
Sure thing. Both of them?
Both of them together, yeah.
They were separate, but upon talking, each of them end up joining together. It was originally just, good guy. But Sathine eventually summoned the other one who joined down. Schoenhoff, I assume you're joining for this as well?
Yes.
Yeah, it's everybody together. Darius opens up and says, I would like to apologize again for deceiving you. And I would also like to thank each of you for putting up with it. Especially you, as he gestures to the stern professor. I understand that you were aware from the start, and you still put up with it for us. So,
For as many problems as they may have, Delmarv ultimately seek peace. On that, at least we agree.
And I can assure you that is our goal.
You are very quiet.
My mic may have been a little bit further away.
There we go. Let's try it again.
I can assure you that is our goal. To seek peace in the long run.
we will make sure the army moves forward without any interception. Anything that we can prevent, we will. Should any soldiers arrive here, should anything happen, if you contact any of us, we will make sure that action is taken.
I hate to have you be leaving on a sour note, but given the previous contact and how it went so poorly, I don't know if sending it to you will be enough in the short term. It's not like we can just stand by, but with any luck. With any luck.
With any luck.
Alright.
Alright. We will be heading out now. We want to make sure that they don't get too impatient and come themselves. Thank you again. Not just for our purpose here, but for teaching me.
He looks at you like really emphatically. No, I mean it, and well, now that I know a little more, it's clear that you're not so much of a novice. I mean it. You got that potency. And he looks at Sternhoff, and you're not too much different.
Thank you. And by the way, your library was most helpful.
Oh. Thank you. Anytime. If you ever want to come back, please feel free. Were there any that you wanted to take? I could unlink it so that you could bring it out.
Oh no, that's okay. That business can wait.
Actually, if I might, anything that you might have relating to scions, it's relatively critical to us that we have as much information relating to them as we can. We're
actually, Darius, that's already covered. And I kind of yeah, I just say actually that's already covered.
He sort of looks back.
I actually might have something that I didn't get the chance to actually investigate while we were in the library, but...
Lorik, if it's the runes, can it wait?
This is actually relevant.
Okay.
I didn't get the chance to investigate it because I didn't think of it until now, but if you have anything cataloging the various subspecies of dragons, then that might actually also be useful.
He takes a deep breath and just... Given how dragons haven't been here for a long time, most of what we have is... It's tough to advise between fiction and what was actually history, but you're welcome to have what we can. And he shifts through to a section on it and picks out two particularly well-developmental ones, one of which he advises probably has more useful information, but also probably has more dangerous information in it as well, some that may be more conjecture. Whereas the other one's much more reliable, but might not have what you need in it. The two of them should complement each other well.
Thank you.
He speaks a few words, and you see a slight blue dust tingle off of them as it just drips to the floor. Now they are yours to keep wherever you go.
I truly appreciate that. Thank you.
And I think we have nothing else then, right?
That should be it.
Takes a few steps forward and shakes each of your hands. Stay safe.
Aye, and you as well.
As best we can.
Pray return when this is done. I look forward to it.
As do I. I also have somebody you might like to meet.
Don't do it, the orc.
Darius will absolutely introduce this guy to Calcus in the post game.
Questionable.
Nah. No.
They both start with a C. This would be too dangerous.
True.
It depends on the type of relationship that he has. I just think that Calcus would appreciate the knowledge accumulation. And that... Well, there might be some moral qualms. Whatever. That's a problem for post Darius.
Flamekeep be like, oh yeah, this was kind of immoral because it like chains fused bloods between two animals. Calcus be like, ayo, what's that mean?
Also, I like how you knew exactly what I was going to type before I sent it.
Predictable.
Predictable.
The party now has some alone time with just the six of you as you are now gently hovercrafting over the forest towards the camp. As you expected it would be a lot louder, but it's actually fairly quiet.
How fast is this thing moving?
Probably about 25, 30 miles an hour, so probably like
Dang.
I think that's like what, 65 feet or so
Shit.
each turn.
So that's like that's okay, never mind. That's not a horse.
Pretty
A horse is
fast,
55. But yeah, no, that's pretty fast. Holy shit.
The important thing is that it ignores terrain.
I mean, the important thing is that it's a flying saucer.
A movement speed of 30 feet per turn is equal to 3.4 miles per hour.
30 feet
so
per
it's probably
Closer
like,
to 300 feet a turn.
yeah, I was about to say, so it's I'll say it's like 180 then.
I thought you said 30 miles per hour. I was like, whoa.
Okay, so then it would be going about 15 miles an hour.
Yeah, then let's go with that.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's probably more realistic anyway. Realistic. That's probably more believable anyway.
Yeah, 30 miles an hour is pretty fast for the top
Yeah.
of...
For airspeed face pushing over.
No aerodynamics.
180 feet it is, but remember it takes like 2 minutes to get started.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's not too useful unless you prep it pre-combat.
Yeah.
Start the engine.
Cable is just dangling his feet off the edge while he's having a smoke with Reggie on his side.
Mans is risking it all.
He's really living on the edge.
Darius
got
is just
this.
like, you know what, my Yuan-Ti tendencies have returned. I'm here to explicitly cause suffering. Just moves over and pushes him off.
Kind of base.
Listen, he's
And that's
got
how we get
this.
Rifter again.
He'll
Woo,
be
baby.
fine. He'll be fine.
Cable be like, I was the greatest archer in the Empire before the incident.
The Darius Vitrion incident. 27k or 28k one.
The party is now floating on the way back over the same fields that you had previously had your encounter in.
Well, I'm glad that this went as well as it did.
Indeed. I understand why they thought that they were allied with Korheim, but the actions they've taken have only been good. They were very receptive to us. I didn't feel like there was any deception going on.
Barring hours, of course.
Indeed, but it was hardly a malintended deception.
I am not even particularly effective at that.
Indeed. I mean, if it wasn't for you, maybe.
This is one reason why I think I should, frankly, be left out of infiltration missions at this point.
Well, I would say if it wasn't a school full of magic casters, that maybe you could have disguised self or something like that, but...
I don't have that spell, and wands or scrolls that allow you to cast it are notoriously difficult to come by.
Fine. We could have prepared for it better, but nonetheless, it still ended out fine. We should take this knowledge, though, this experience, how you were ousted by just your looks, and apply that to once we hit Korheim.
But, yes, frankly, I think I'm far too easily recognizable, too much of a public figure to be able to do long-term infiltration like this.
Yeah, you kind of have a big old billboard on your side.
A what?
Billboard. It's a board with bills on them.
Oh, like the ones they have outside of adventure guilds?
Yeah. I guess that's what they call where you come from.
I don't know, I usually just call them boards. Or if I'm feeling especially inclined, I may refer to them as notice boards or hunt boards or job boards.
Shut up. Darius stops for a second. I need... As he's sort of kind of just looking up as he's hearing something you're clearly not. Well, I'll be damned. That bastard listened to me. As he sort of looks around. I got a message. Guess from who?
Your mama.
I have no idea.
He sort of looks... A boy in the elevator himself.
Wait,
What?
which one?
Andromache. In the elevator, not from the
Yes.
Supposedly, in my bag, there is a cube that will allow us to seek an audience with him when we choose. I think my statement that all of the others have met with us face to face got to him. But he did preface it that his priorities will remain the same. Which I assume is protecting that one.
Hi.
Sorry, you don't know what this means. It's... As he sort of looks over to everyone else, it's personal business. It doesn't have anything to do with the war yet.
You say yet like it's gonna.
Well, it
Yes,
doesn't, but something else does. You know how we were looking... You know what? No, it's better you don't know.
I was about to say yet isn't the most reassuring choice of word.
I mean, when you're dealing with that, it could happen. Whatever.
Now you're just raising more questions.
He just rolls his eyes.
I'm
y'all
sorry,
can
I
have
have to-
your own business.
I'm sorry you have to listen to this from the outside cable. It likely won't make sense until a long time from now, but rest assured it's nothing that you have to worry about.
I get it. Y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do.
If you want the long short, we're angry old men raising our fists, screaming at God for being mean.
Wait, you two are old too?
Darksbane just kind of nods his head a little bit as you say that, and says, "Yeah, I guess there was more going on than I thought."
Yeah, you can say that again.
I think he was saying angry old man as a metaphor.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty old in body, and at this point, my mind might as well be millennia old.
I mean, I'm part elf, so looks can be deceiving. I understand that. I have no idea how y'all folk age anyway. He points to Lord.
Perhaps I'll keep the surprise.
I'm sure it'll be fun. Invite me to your birthdays. We'll smoke and have a gin. Wait, does the smoke hurt y'all? I have no idea.
Smoke hurts
Oh.
you.
Hell if I know. Our jaws aren't exactly the right shape for that sort of thing. People have tried. It typically doesn't work out that well.
Let's see. Well, smoking hurts me, but I'm, the flesh and blood, and I also don't breathe fire.
Neither do I.
Wait, y'all don't?
Well, some do.
Oh, so that's not a... Alright, I got a lot to learn. As you can tell, I'm not exactly familiar.
Personally, my bloodline has a lightning breath weapon.
Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh, does that mean, you eat what he gives out? And he points over to Shrinov.
No, I don't really have any affinity for lightning beyond the fact that I can produce bolts of it a few times a day.
Interesting.
Hey, Chernoff.
So,
Retroactively, I wrote this down. I was reviewing my things. Can you, while you were investigating the library, can you go and give me one more investigation?
yeah.
Alright, well that's pretty damn perfect. That's a
Hey.
very, very good time to get a crit. As you're going through the portal section, you end up finding one that's written, it's authored by Sultan.
Interesting.
I assume it is one you will take and investigate further in the future?
Yeah, I would like to go back in time and make sure to ask to take that book out for a while.
Yes, you take that book. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, that's one of the really important things I need to do. That's one of the key plot progressions. I can't forget that part.
Exposition.
Do you have a title for me?
I do.
So I can put it away.
I will send it to him.
Right. So, I'm assuming our glorious DM is doing that.
I have sent him the message.
All right, because I'm ready to. Well, actually, no. Darius got a message from Drama Key, so yeah. Wherever that leads, I'm ready to go to.
Is Cable gonna ask something about that?
Well, they said it was better that he didn't know, and he's just trusting them.
Oh. Yeah,
Cable
okay.
has a wife and kids at home. He doesn't need to get involved with conspiracies to kill the Emperor's son.
Conspiracy is a strong word.
I mean, what else do you call it?
You think we have enough brain cells between the lot of us to conspire?
Oh, true. Okay, all right. Two schemes and I don't know, whatever Lord is
Two and a
doing.
half schemes, How I Met Your Traitor.
He will ask Darius though. So I get that I don't really want to be involved. Something very personal and something that, from what it tells, very dangerous. But what's going on with this guy that got a message from?
Uh-oh, Chad dead?
Yes.
Nope.
One more time.
You said you got a message from him. How does it affect our mission here, compadre?
One more time. Sorry.
God damn it.
You got a message. How do we deal?
Oh, I think this is something that Rifter needs to be present for, so we should head back to camp and I
You
think
head
we can
back
handle
to
it.
camp, you end up landing pretty, just a short distance nearby as to not super alert them that you have these random new things that you'd have to explain. You give a very, very brief thing in that they ask if you, if it's safe to proceed, and they'll debrief in the morning once the general's awake. And you're good to go, and you visit Rifter at the infirmary. Hi, you can be Rifter. You can now participate in the plot critical lore story decisions.
Okay. A drama key? What's that bloody... I don't know, taint want?
He wants to speak with us. It seems more genuine.
When you say speak, does it mean negotiate? Or do you mean just...
He made a
waste
point
time?
that I made a point. He said that it was reasonable, or the implication was it was reasonable that because the others would meet face to face with him, would meet face to face with us, that he should meet face to face with us. I have something that supposedly will allow us to do that.
Alright, well, I suppose... How long has it been, by the way? Is Rifter still in medical?
Rifter is still in medical, and it has been a day and a half.
Oh, in that case, Rifter is going to call in Cable. The TLDR is, this is the conversation they basically have. Oi, mate. Yeah? I need you to do me a favor. Look after these blokes for me. I'm still, and he points to his arm. I need to recuperate. You still owe me, and I'm calling in the favor. And Cable scratches his head, and he says, "Ah, shoot. Alright, I'll do you a favor. I always felt bad about, technically keeping your god in a slavery, so, I guess I can do one for you."
Are you sure you want him to know, Rifter?
Hey, mate. Yeah? Do you mind knowing potentially life-threatening information? Do I have to? And then Rifter just kind of gives him a look, like a, He says, alright. I'll get involved this one time, I guess. And Rifter nods and says, hit him with it.
Alright. He lows down.
Currently, there are other nurses in the area tending to other people's
Okay.
random bullshit.
He takes him outside and gives him the lowdown.
Hell yeah.
He basically now knows what Rifter knows.
Wow.
Okay, after telling him all that, Cable has taken off his hat. He's looking very shocked. He has smoked it all the way down to the end of his cigar. It's nothing more than a stub, and he's like, "Ooh-wee, partner. You are a crazy son of a bitch. You know that, right?"
You're telling that to a Yuanti.
I have no concept of what that means, but yeah.
It's basically
what that
Mm-hmm.
it means you're preaching to the choir.
Ah, I see. I always was good at that. They seem to get the message. Alright, yeah. I'll be your eyes and ears while your other eyes and ears is down.
Alright then.
I trust you with the level of Rifter, considering he seems to trust you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hate to admit when I'm beat, but he's better than me. At least in terms of, the whole bang bang.
Man, Evan's really just sucking his own dick twice in like the last 4 minutes.
Wow.
I think
Rifter is saying he is better at me at shooting things. Therefore, he is sucking.
I think we need to check to make sure that Evan still has a spine.
Darius just looks back and forth. You got him to admit that he's bad at something, or at least worse. Damn. You do not understand the level of respect for your ability that I now have.
Cable shrugs. I guess the mana still stayed with him. Alright, little Rifter, I'll see y'all later. And he waves goodbye to Rifter. Rifter waves with his broken arm, and then he realizes, ow, my arm is broken. And
That's so in character. Nice touch.
Caleb, or well, Cable.
Yeah!
God damn it!
No! Cable is going to go ahead, and he's going to go down to the archery range, and he's just going to keep practicing, because now he feels the need to try hard.
On the way out, I'm gonna hand Rifter the write-up of the studies on the psionic creatures, and just say to him, "We came across a library while we were there, and I found something interesting. Consider it homework."
Oh, I thought I got past that. He's gonna go ahead and, with his non-dominant hand, try to write this shit.
No, you don't have to write anything. You're reading.
Oh, I mean, he still wants to write it down. Multiple
Well,
copies.
no, I wrote it down, and I'm giving it to you.
Well, okay. Just giving it to him to read over.
Yeah. So,
Okay. I'm
Because
sorry.
everyone knows because they were there, and I'm just filling him in.
No, that's my bad. When you say give it to me, I thought you meant
Yeah.
like leave
Yeah, no.
it with him. Yeah, my bad. All right, so yeah, he'll read over it.
All right, then we're off. As it sort of looks between all of them.
The party
Speak to the
goes
general.
again because the general will not be awake until the morning, as they said.
Well, Rifter, if we're not back, you should let them know that we will be back. Probably. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, I'll let them know that you are merely delayed.
All right. Darius is going to look through his bag for the cube aforementioned.
Ooh, that ain't a good look.
That
That
is
ain't
not
it,
a good
Gabe.
look. Rolling a 2, oof.
And
Not
a 1.
great.
Imagine, couldn't be me.
Couldn't be me.
This is a
You
14
search
hit the
around,
target.
and
That could definitely be.
literally the moment you start thinking about it, you find it in your pack. As you pull it out, it's a small cube made out of almost 8 other cubes, where there's essentially 3 indented rings going around each of the primary axes, so that it forms 8 smaller, like, subcubes.
Is there any clear methodology as how to use it?
It squeezes a little bit as you press it, but you quickly stop squeezing it, and it returns to its standard form.
Am I supposed to understand something from that?
The only method of interaction you seem to have with it, beyond physically moving it around like like an
it.
airplane, is squeezing it.
Okay, well, he's gonna look around and he's gonna squeeze.
Oh, wow.
Everybody get
Alright,
close.
Straight up, just instant
Full
play.
sending.
Just getting in close with the homies.
Listen, we've got some time while the front has time to move forward. And actually, hold on. We need to relay. Fuck no. Hold on. Darius
We need to
doesn't
relay,
squeeze.
Yeah,
need
Darius
to
does not
speak-
do the dumb.
We need to speak with the general first. We can't just do it now. We have to relay that this is like they're not a threat, and that like to make sure that nothing happens to them. Like we can't just leave with that knowledge, and they might move the front forward without us. We have to wait till morning at bare minimum. Speak to the generals, and then we can do it as they move forward.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I guess let's just go ahead and do that.
It would be probably best to do that on a different session.
All right.
All right.
So
cool.
instead, you talk about planning about doing it after talking to the general.
That I completely forgot we hadn't already spoken to him because we spoke to Rifter.
Are you saying
The
Rifter is the
general,
general?
same person. I'm saying Rift is pretty general.
True. Especially now that he kind of has the shapeshifting thing for fucking ever.
Yep.
Or has had the shapeshifting
Lucky
thing
you,
for
by
ever.
the way. Did he ever tell y'all how that came
Yep.
about?
The potion, random race, all that
Mm-hmm.
jazz.
And
Oh,
all that
so with-
jazz.
So with the caveat that he would have to abide by the Kenku with speech limitation. As I recall.
And he just
Indeed,
pogged
like
out
that.
with the exact 1 out of 100.
Poggy Woggy.
Huge.
Anything else anyone would like to handle to get any logistics or otherwise prepare?
My influence on this group is growing.
I think Darius has pretty much everything ready for himself. He's just awaiting for a moment that they can go.
A moment.
A
moment.
moment.
God, I fucking hate that was an Amogus. I hate it.
Cable's gonna get a run back.
I hate it
There
so
we go.
much.
Darius is gonna bust it down sexual style.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
He does not bust it down sexual style. He busts it down. He still busts it down. He just busts it down.
Oh wait,
reasonably.
actually,
He busted down platonic style.
Yeah.
I have a much more important thing for Cable to do. While he has time, he is going to go ahead and write a letter to his wife and kids.
Yay!
He's going. He tells his kids like, "Hi, honey, how you doing? So funny. I got involved in a very dangerous thing again. I'm sorry. I will be back."
I love pedestrian conversations, especially when it involves marriage turmoil.
Hey, they have a very happy marriage. It's just, sometimes dad has to go off and save the world.
Sometimes
It'd
dad
be like
has to
that.
go off and basically die.
Hey, he's not basically dying. He's 1v9ing. Like, come on. He's got this. He's got more HP than Lord. He'll be fine.
Yeah, but you
Lorik
don't have the insane amounts of self-healing.
Here's the real play, though. Lorik turns around and convinces Darius that he was the cringe-ass Nene baby of legend.
Oh, true.
I cannot be the cringe-ass nanny baby of legend. I clearly busted it down sexual style, which means I must be goated with the sauce.
No, the difference.
Cringe-ass baby with the sauce. Busting
The difference is
down
that-
What do you say
sexual
to my 20
style
intimidation
of
with the
legends.
Princess Nene, baby? Oh, sorry.
Lord
Anyway, I'm gonna stop the stream before we commit
Yeah.
more travesties to God.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
thank you anyone who came through and decided to rewatch this ye old live stream and tolerate with the
And-
absolute atrocity of that and
Amogus.
I guess table.
I love you.